Hi everyone. In this particular presentation session, we shall try to cover some of the concepts with respect to the attributes of a file and the permissions associated with respect to a file. So when you create a file, it can be a text file, it can be a directory, it can be any type of file. So once a file gets created, it will have some attributes. Your Unix operating system will create or it will allot some attributes for the created file. So what are all the different types of attributes that is present within a file, and in a file can we allot some permissions with respect to a file. So those are all the things we shall be looking into in this particular presentation session. Especially your Unix operating system is a multi-user system. That is, multiple users needs to have simultaneous access to a file. So there can be many users who will be working on the same file. So in such a case, all those users can be put into a group. So in all these scenarios, there can be different permissions we can give to the owner of the file. Who is the owner? The one who creates the file. For that person we can have different permission. The persons who are in the group, for them we can have different permissions. Persons who are not in the group, for them we can have different set of permission. So which are all the different kinds of permission, or which are all the permission we can allot to these three different set of users that we are going to observe in this particular presentation session. So in this presentation session, I will be giving a brief introduction with respect to the file attributes and its permission. So once you get a picture, clear-cut picture with respect to file attributes and permission, then we can proceed with the advanced topic with respect to this particular file attributes and permissions. So as you can see here, so whenever you are creating a file, that file needs a place to get stored. The place where your file gets stored, we can call that as a directory. So all your files will be stored inside a directory. So suppose I want to list all the files present inside a directory, then I can make use of a command called as ls command. So ls is the command which is used in order to list all the files present in the current directory. Inside your current directory, what are all the files which are present? In order to list all of them, you can make use of ls command. So your ls command can be used along with many options. I had already explained what is an option. It is a type of argument. So you can go back to the previous presentation session and understand what is an argument and what is an option. So your ls command can be used with many different options. So we will see all those different options that are available with the ls command. So to first get a introduction, we can say ls is a command which is mainly used in order to list all of your files present inside the current directory. Inside your current directory, what are all the files which are residing? In order to list all of them, you can make use of ls command. Whenever you are executing a Unix command, the output of any Unix command, we can call that output as listing. As you can see here, when you execute your ls command, it is listing the files. So we can generalize this and say any Unix command output will be nothing but listing. It will list some output, it will list some answers. So that is the second point. As the third point is, as you can see, the third point, you can use ls command with many options. I had already explained you can make use of ls command with many options. So whenever you are using ls command with many other options, it will display the attributes of a file. There are many attributes associated with the file. In order to fetch the attributes of a particular file, I can use my ls command with options. So we will see all those examples how we can use ls command with different options in order to list the attributes of a file. We can see that in the coming presentation sessions. So how your ls command will list the attributes of a file? So it will make use of the inode number. So whenever a file gets created, each file will be unique in nature. What do you mean by unique in nature? It will be different from the other file. How you can differentiate one file from the another file? By the help of a number called as inode number. This will be unique to a file. So whenever a file gets created, a inode number will be assigned to that particular file. So your ls command makes use of this file inode number in order to obtain the attributes of this particular file. So with the help of a file inode number, so whenever you want to retrieve the attributes of a particular file, you give a file name. So that file inode number will be retrieved by the ls command. Using that file inode number, it will give me the attributes of that particular file. This is how your ls command will work. So whenever you are fetching the attributes of a file using ls command, it will fetch me or it will give me 7 major attributes. So now we shall try to observe which are all those 7 major attributes, what all the information those 7 major attributes contain. So once you guys become familiar with these 7 attributes of a file, then we can look into the examples. So once you go through the examples, you will get a better understanding with respect to attributes of a file. So far we have studied the command which is used to list all the files in the current directory, that is ls command. What are all the output of a Unix command? That can be called as listing. You can make use of ls command with many options to display the file attribute. Your ls command will use the file inode number in order to display file attribute. Mainly there are 7 attributes associated with respect to a file. So those 7 attributes are as listed in the blackboard. So as you can see here, first attribute is file type and permissions. So what do you mean by file type? Your file can be an ordinary file. Your file can be a directory. Your file can be a device file. So what is the type of file? Whether it is ordinary file, whether it is a directory file, whether it is a device file, that can be considered as the first attribute. Along with the file type, it will also display the permissions associated with the file. I had already explained, when you create a file, you become the owner of the file, because I am the one who is creating the file. The owner can also be called as user of the file. The other name for the owner, or I can say the synonym for owner, is user. So when I create a file, I become the owner of the file. So I want this file, the created file, to be shared with other project mates. So they are other team members who want to make use of this particular file. So I will make a group of all the team members. So the second permission is group permission. So the first one is owner. What are all the permission you can give for the owner, one who creates the file? And what are all the permission you can give for the group, the team members who will have access to the file? That is called as group. And apart from that, there is one more category called as others. Those are the people who are no way concerned with the group. They are outside of the group. So what are all the permission I can give to others? Whether they can read the file, whether they can write the file, whether they can execute the file. So these are the 3 main permissions associated with respect to a file: read, write and execute. So for a owner, the one who creates the file, what are all the permission I can give? Read, write, execute, 3 permission kodla. For a group, That is, the team members, all the team members will share that particular file. For them, what all the permission I can give? Shall I give only the read and execute? Write permission kodde, bari read execute permission kodla. Others ke bari read permission kodteni, because I don't want other people apart from the group to write and execute into a file. So these are all the kind of permission we will be seeing. So when we go through the examples, you will get a clear understanding with respect to file permissions. That is the first attribute of a file. The second attribute is links. What does link represent? Link represents the number of link. I can say the number of, in a file system, the same file. Suppose there is a file called as RCB. That particular file can be referenced in multiple locations. So in how many locations the RCB file is referenced? So those many number of locations, that represents the links. So the links won't be having physical copy of the file. The links will just be a reference to your original file. So how many number of links are there to your original file? That will be found in the link section. So the third one is ownership. So the person who created the file, that particular name will be present in ownership. So if Rahul created the file, then the ownership name will be Rahul. The next attribute is group ownership. What do you mean by group ownership? As I had already explained, whenever you are creating a file, you can share that particular file to other team members, the team members present inside a group. So you will be giving some name to the group. The name you are going to the group, that is called as group ownership. And the fifth one is file size. As the name itself suggests, what is the size of the file? That will be shown in file size. Sixth represents last modification date and time. That means inside file. If you modify any contents inside file, that last modified date and time. When you last modified the contents inside a file. If you even change a single character inside a file, that will be considered as the last modification date and time. So that will be shown in this particular attribute. And the last attribute is the file name itself. So these are all the 7 major attributes that are present inside a file. So whenever you are creating a file in Unix operating system, every file you are creating in your Unix operating system will contain these 7 major attributes. First one is file type and the permissions associated. It can be the permissions with respect to 3 categories: the owner, the group, and the last one is others. The number of links, in how many places this particular file has been referenced. The ownership, the person who created the file. The group name, where all the team members are accessing this particular file. The size of a file, when you last modified your file, the date and time. And the last one is the name of the file itself. So in order to obtain the file attributes, you need to use some option along with your ls command. What does your ls command do? Your ls command will only list all the files present inside the current directory. Inside my current directory, what are all the files which are present? That will be listed. But if I want the attributes along with the file, ಯಾವ ಫೈಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಒಂದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಒಳಗೆ, ಆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಒಳಗಿರೋ ಫೈಲ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಫೈಲ್ದು ಆಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಸಹ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ I can make use of some option. So what is that option? We need to use with ls command in order to list the file attributes that we are going to see in our next presentation session. So when you understand this particular working of ls command with some examples, you will get a clear picture with respect to the file attributes. So that we are going to see in the next presentation session. Thank you.